Hello, my name is David, and I'd like to talk to you about money, monetary systems, and mediums of exchange. One of them is killing us and destroying our environment. Money is anything that we as a society collectively agree upon to use as a medium of exchange. It's what we will create for ourselves because we're expending our life's energy for a paycheck. We expend our life's energy for a paycheck, we get a paycheck, and we use it to give us the things we need and desire. Monetary systems are what are created by humanity. People create monetary systems. Money is just what it is. But people create monetary systems, and we have lived under a debt-based monetary system now for 300 years. So the guiding principles in the creation of a debt-based monetary system are: number one, it's clandestinely created. Number two, it's administered top-down. Number three, it's only created to represent debt. Number four, it's interest enslaving. And number five, it's contractible. Now, these principles are definable. When I say clandestinely created is the first principle, what am I saying? I'm saying that the central banks of the world, the owners of the central banks of the world, are hidden. We're not allowed to know who owns the central banking systems around the globe. That means there are people in our country making our medium of exchange our lifeblood, and we're not allowed to know who they are. That makes no sense at all. In their system, the current system, the debt-based system we're under, the money is all administered from the top down. What does that mean? That means they have the control over who gets funding and for what. Well, that makes no sense. We have no say in where money is created and what it's funding? That doesn't work. Money is only made to represent debt. What does that mean? There is no money in our banking system that hasn't been created because someone signed a loan document and indebted themselves for the medium. We kind of have that a little bit backwards. We don't need the medium to create our wealth. We have to create the medium to represent the wealth we create, but we don't have to have it first. It's men's labor, and men's labor to create and put together, and men's labor for materials, to gather materials that creates our wealth, not the money. The money isn't necessary at all. Okay, it's also interest enslaving. When you sign that loan document, you are responsible for paying interest on it. Well, wait a minute. Banks make money out of nothing? So if banks make money out of nothing, how can they charge interest on something that they never gave you? But we're enslaved by that interest, and their system allows for contractibility. What do we mean by contractibility? Well, in their banking system, in the debt-based monetary system, they create the medium based upon your signature and deposit that money into your account. They didn't have it. It's just because you signed a loan document, they're empowered to make it out of nothing and give it to you. But they never, ever make the interest money. So built into the functioning mechanics of their system is contractibility. They can, anytime they wish, decide to slow down on letting loans out, to make loans smaller, to contract the entire money supply by slowing down the amount of loans they put out. That has the effect of making people bankrupt, making people foreclosed on. In 1929 to 1933, they contracted our money supply by 36%. 6 million people in this country died of starvation. To say nothing about the thousands and thousands of people who lost their farms and lost their businesses. This is an insane system, and we're just now coming to get to understand that because of the internet. Anyway, 3 axioms I think everybody should kind of try and commit to their mind so that they're axioms of truth that you understand and believe. One is that banks make money out of nothing. The second one is, if that's true, then debt only exists within your mind and it's how you are enslaved. And the third one is, we don't need the medium to create the wealth. We need to create the medium to represent the wealth we create. So, what I propose is we change this system. Just abandon this debt-based system. We don't owe anybody anything for all the assets we've produced. They belong to us. They don't belong to banks. There is no debt. Debt isn't real. So, based on that, I think we should create a value-based monetary system that makes more sense. In a value-based monetary system, I see it being transparently created. I see it being locally created. I see it being made to represent only things of value. And I see it being made freely and permanently. It's fixed. Money that we make in a value-based system doesn't get paid back to anybody. It's only created to represent the wealth that we're creating. And then we will end up with having money as a sea we float upon, instead of a commodity we have to clamor after just to survive. The insanity of our current system is becoming more and more apparent all the time. If they create money clandestinely, why wouldn't we create money transparently? What does that mean? That means just create it so that the world can see. If you create money transparently, then there is no corruption. You can't have corruption in a transparently created monetary system. You may have to think on that for a while, but that's the reality. No corruption. The second part of a system to create value-based money would be to create it locally. I mean, that's where that's where people need the money. They need the money to pay for infrastructure projects, to pay for medical, to pay for education, to pay for protection. If we were using a value-based monetary system where all the money is created transparently, how many of the police will be working for them? No, they'll be working for us because we're paying them. They're not paying them. The insanity of this system comes through more and more all the time. Thanks. Okay, it's only to represent value, and it is freely created, and it's permanent. So I just think that this is a far better way to create a monetary system than the current one we have. Creating money is something that should be in every community. Communities should make it themselves. They don't need to ask some banker to make it. As long as they're making it transparently and the rest of the community sees why they're making it and what it's for, and it's permanently recorded someplace. Money in its creation in a value-based system will always exist as created money. Anybody can look up where that money came from and find out why it was created, when it was created, and for what purpose. That is a much freer way for society to live. It will create such freedoms if people get to choose for themselves what it is they wish to contribute to society. And in a value-based system, that will happen.